It's a twister! We're going to look at a famous game, Steinitz-Mongredien. This was 1863. Not to be confused with the game they played a year earlier, which was very famous, which we already looked at. I hope I'm pronouncing Mongredion's name correctly. Steinitz here was white, and he started out with e4, and it was g6. It's a fianchetto, and Steinitz plays this c3 just to blunt out the bishop. And then black played b6, so it's a double fianchetto. So Mongredien played some interesting stuff. I think the last game was a Scandinavian where he went queen to d8. This time he tries a double fianchetto. So let's get on here. Bishop e3 was played. And bishop b7, and knight to d2, d6, and knight f3. So just normal development by everybody. Steinitz didn't go for the f4 line. It was very committal. Stockfish here, interestingly, likes h4. It's a very computer move nowadays with the idea of h5, a typical way to fight against this fianchetto position. But Steinitz was just normal development. And then Mongredien played knight to should have played knight to d7. In fact, he played e5. He wanted to fight in the center straight away. Steinitz took on e5. The idea is now this bishop is shut out by his own pawn. And here we go. It's the first training question for you. It is white to move. What do you think the move for white is? I will give you a second to figure that out while I load up my monitor over here on the other side. See what's going on. See if I got any viewers. One viewer, me. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need a lot of viewers. I just need me. I know the answer already, though. That's unfortunate. So what does Steinitz do here? What is the best move? So I see where that baseball player got $700 million. Insane. Insane. Too much. That's going to come up to bite him. Wait a minute. I got too much stuff going on here again. What is this? I don't know. I was looking to see if I had lag, but it looked like the lag has corrected itself. It jumped around. The answer is bishop c4. And f7 is weak. I might try for knight to g5 and do an attack like this. And if he plays knight to f6, the bishop no longer protects, so I would just eat that. That's not going to work. Queen e7 protects the pawn so that you can play knight f6 now. But now we play knight to g5. f7's in danger, and they would play knight to h6. This would still be the best, though. I think white is already looking better here. But he played knight to e7. And Steinitz missed a tactic here. So, yeah. Well, maybe he miscalculated something here. So there's a typical tactic where you sacrifice on f7, kablamo, and the king takes. You follow it up with the knight check. If the king goes to e8, queen to b3, threatens something like maybe knight to e6, which would attack the queen and the bishop. That's a nice fork. I guess you could go knight to e6 straight away, but queen b3 also attacks f7, so I might want to go knight to f7 as well. Anyway, he plays bishop h6, attacks this knight, and here you could play knight to f7. It's not the strongest, though. There's actually a stronger move. Now, the thing is that black is going to get 3 pieces for this queen, and so white is still better, but black does have 3 pieces for the queen. So better than that is improving the knight to f3. Now you won't be able to take this knight on d7, and the threats stay. So let's just say he takes and takes, and the threat is queen to f7 check and castle. Winning the queen. Well, winning a piece, I guess. Guess you could block with the bishop, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Bishop d5 is what was in the notes, and then take, and then say c4 and castle. White has a big attack going on here. Now the material is equal, so that's why I say maybe Steinitz miscalculated something somewhere along the way, but he did miss that. That would have been a winning blow. I don't see modern grandmasters missing that. Anyway, he played queen e2, and that wasn't the strongest. And what happened? Castle was not the strongest. Maybe knight c8 to block the d file. After castle, Steinitz does go for the modern h4 with the idea of h5. Could have also castled queenside, lining up on the queen. He goes h4. And then Steinitz-Mongredien played knight to d7. I guess there's queen c8 with the idea of bishop a6 and trying to trade off some pieces. There's h6 to keep the pieces out of g5, but he played knight to d7. And here comes h5. He reacted with pawn to c5. And white takes on g6. There's other choices. You could have played bishop g5 to pin. You could have castled. These are all good moves. He took on g6. And he has to, not has to, but he takes back with the knight. If he takes back with the pawn, I think bishop g5 and the idea of castling next might be pretty strong. So he plays knight to g6 so that the knight protects the pawn, and he can play knight to f6 on the next move. That's his idea, I think. And Steinitz castles queenside. The rook is lined up on the queen. Knight g5 seems to be a huge threat. And, for example, after a6, that's exactly what he did. Knight to g5. h7 is hanging. Queen h5 is coming. This is big trouble already for the black player. He played knight to f6. This was his idea. Better, it says, is b5. And now I got choices here. I could take on h7, or could even jump in with this spectacular knight to e6, forking. And the point is, if you take back with the bishop check. If the king runs, there's a rook sacrifice, and then a queen check, and then the queen takes here mate. So after bishop takes e6, you got to block with the rook, but then the knight comes around. The knight on d7 is hanging. Knight g5 is coming. This is a wipeout with a spectacular knight e6. But you could also just simply play rook takes h7 here. And after they take your bishop, so that's spectacular too, I guess. You sacked a bishop. So then the knight hops into d6. Knight to f5 is coming. And some more fireworks. Rook takes g7, and king takes, and knight f5 check, and rook d6, and just a big attack for white. Big attack for white. So nothing is saving black right now, but he played knight f6. And here you go. It's your second training question. What's the best move for white? What do you think the best move for white is here? Let's see. Oh, I saw where Susan Sarandon and Mark Ruffalo and all those had to go back and apologize for saying that Israel's committing genocide. I wonder why they did that. I wonder why they went back. But next time they're gonna do a little better research and figure out what political positions will make people like them before they put it on Twitter. It's white to play. Can you figure out the move? Can you figure out the move? Steinitz found it. Can you find it? All right, I'm going to tell you the answer. It is knight takes h7, exclam. If he ignores it and goes b5, I can take this knight with check, and then the queen hops in here to h5. This is killing, but the knight takes. And what is the next move for white? Your third training question. What is the best move for white in this position? I don't know why I have my coat on. I was cold earlier. Now I'm hot. So I turn the lights on, I get hot. So I shouldn't have put the coat on. These lights make a good... Hey, Cosmos, how you doing? Cosmos, I am looking at a famous game, Steinitz-Mongredien. it is white to play. I've made it a training question for you. White has sacrificed the knight on h7. How should you continue? This is my training question for you, Cosmos. Chance for you to match wits with the first world chess champion, Wilhelm Steinitz. What do you got? Queen h5, I'll give you that. That's maybe better than what he played in the game, so I'll give you full credit for that. Let me give you a sound effect for that. Okay.
That's right.
Very good. Queen h5, and if knight f6, then you can take on g6 because the pawn is pinned. Bishop h6 is coming. Steinitz played another move. That's very spectacular. He played rook takes h7. So if he ignores it and plays b5 again, we double up the rooks, let you have the bishop, and then triple up on that h file. The rook goes away, and then there's some more sacrifices coming. Kablamo, and check, and then bishop takes c5 check. I guess bishop h6 might have been a good move too. Yeah, what to do here? You can't block with the knight, you get mated. So you have to block with the rook, I guess, and then the knight comes into the game, etc. But he played the natural move. He took. He said, prove it to me. Show me. And then we had Cosmos' queen h5. And then rook h1, which is the strongest move. It's stronger than taking this knight. You might go, hey, there's a free knight there. But then queen h4 stops me from playing rook to h1. So rook h1 was the best move. The rook moved over. Maybe more to make a little space here. Now he takes the free knight. The queen comes to f6, and here you go, Cosmos. It's another training question. How do you continue this attack if you are white? How do you continue the attack? How did Wilhelm Steinitz? Game's almost over. Short game. I like to see those double fianchettos get beat because I run into stuff like that, and when I play in blitz, somebody just do that because they can blitz out the first 4 moves or something. So it's nice to see it getting beat quickly. Let's see what the body count is here. Black has a rook and I have a knight. Black has 5 pawns and I've got 6. So we're down the exchange, but we are attacking big time. Queen h7, I will give you full credit for that as well. Better probably than what was in the game. So if the king moves over, maybe rook h3 come up and over. So yes, I'll give you full credit for that, sir. Full credit. We're going to give you another that's right.
That's right.
There you go. All right, now, but what he played was also very good. He played bishop takes f7 check. So if the king runs away, then I can take the rook and then give this check, another sacrifice, and give this check. And you can't block with the bishop. You'd lose the queen, so the king needs to run. And then bishop g5 picks up the queen. But he took with the queen, and here you go. The final training question for you, Cosmos. That was my second move. Yeah, they're both good. So there were a lot of winning moves. This time there's one that's only one winning move for white. So both of the moves that you picked that he did not play were the top computer suggestions, but not what he played in the game. So I gave you full credit for those, but there's one more training question. Now there is only one winning move. Only one winning move. Can you find it, Cosmos? I missed the last couple of nights, sorry, because I was just so tired, man. I think because it's getting cold, I just needed to sleep. I just went right to sleep. I slept for a long time. Tomorrow night, I meant to do strategy tonight, but I was so tired, I just slept all day. So I pulled out this famous game that I've been studying. I still think queen h7. Queen h7 might be losing now. Let's see, queen h7, run away. And now if I try the same thing, rook h3, maybe you got this to block. Now what? I'm not sure how to continue here. I got to move the queen, I reckon. I guess I could give a check. But yeah, queen h7 is not working. Sorry, I cannot give you credit for that. I cannot give you full credit for that. I will give you a second try.
I don't think so.
I will give you a second try. I will give you a hint here. This queen is defended only by the king. This queen is defended only by the king. So this we would call this a deflection, I think. A deflection. Notice the bishop is pinned and can't move anywhere. Am I giving it away? I think I'm giving it away. I don't know, there might be some kind of lag here too. I had a lag when I started. And the lag is not too bad, actually. Rook h8, you got it! That is right. Nicely done. You get a Paul Stanley, yeah. All right. Nicely done. Rook h8 check. He must take with the king only move. And then Steinitz picks up the queen. He's attacking the bishop over here as well. So black resigned there. So there you go. That was how Steinitz stomped Mongredien, who played this double fianchetto. So just to go back, Steinitz played solidly with c3. This is a line that I play sometimes in blitz. I haven't played it over the board, but sometimes in blitz I just do this. And then, yeah. I usually play f4 junk like here, though. But it's too committal, I think. So I'm going to go with the Steinitz method, I think, from now on. And then he missed the tactic here. He played queen e2, and then started with the h-pawn advance against that fianchetto, the way it should be. And then now he's just playing on the h-file and took a win. I've done that tactic like 100 times, and my brain can still not pick it up. I think to me it's because it looks like the bishop is defending that square, right? To my mind, anyway, it looks like you're reluctant to go there because it looks like, hey, you got two guys defending it, but the bishop does not. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. That's why it seems difficult for me to see that tactic. But yeah, that's how Steinitz knocked him out on the h-file. Opened up the h-file, sack mate, just like against the dragon. So Steinitz led the way. Yeah, this was London 1863. Steinitz was still trying to play like Anderson at this time. This was the young thin Steinitz, not the fat Steinitz. Not the fat Steinitz with the sequin jumpsuit. This was the young and thin Steinitz with the leather jacket. So there you go, Cosmos. That was a master game. Tomorrow night, I think I'm going to try and look at some strategy. And until that time, I will see you later. Until that time, adios.